Tight. Holster can pull out, shoot, no problem. Guide in, boom, like that. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Blue Trail Range channel. I'm Todd, your host. So, it's been a little while since we did a video. I apologize. I was on a small vacation, dropping my daughter off in college out on the West Coast. Actually, we were in Reno, and if you guys have seen the news lately, Lake Tahoe's on fire. So while we were there, it was raining ash. It was very post-apocalyptic-like. Good times. Took a couple of days to get back, which sucked. We're supposed to be back within one day, but you know, with flights getting canceled and everything going on, we ended up getting back within 3 days of our original slotted time. So it is what it is. But couldn't not do a video, and I was sitting at home, much like what you guys do, sitting at home, and I was watching YouTube, and one of the instructors that was on the YouTube, I call Instructor. I'm not going to name any names, to each their own. I'm not the end-all be-all. You know, there's people out there way better than me that know a lot more than me, and then obviously there's people that really don't know what they're talking about. So anyways, this instructor was talking about how when you're practicing your holster draw and you drive forward and you're doing all that, when you go to reholster, you need to train yourself to where you don't look, you just reholster it. And I just stared at my screen and I backed it up and I replayed it over and over because I've never heard that before. I think that's a horrible idea. I think you need to take your time when you're reholstering and move garments out of the way and a whole bunch of other stuff, and we're going to cover that real quick. Alright, so why you need to guide it in. Alright, so we've got a Glock 19 that's completely unloaded, no mag. Alright, here's the key. Here's what freaks me out when I'm reholstering this or anything, is this thing right here. Alright, and you all know that is a trigger guard. And you know that it sucks at its job. It is the one, it's like a weatherman. It's always wrong, never right, doesn't do what it's supposed to, but it's always around. The trigger guard, I don't want to say it's absolute garbage, because it is important. It does protect the trigger. The problem is that when these were installed on firearms, it was like right in here, a little singularity formed that just sucks everything that's not supposed to be in there. Mainly when you're reholstering if you're not paying attention. And some of the things that I've seen go in here are clothing, and as the weather gets cooler and people start wearing jackets and fleeces, one of the things that are notorious is this right here. You can't see, it's that little bungee cord on the waist. It's on both sides of the fleece. See, it's over here on the right side. Alright, so what happens is you have the jacket unzipped, you sweep back, you pull, you draw. Alright, that's all cool. And then when you go to reholster, you shove it in there, but you're not paying attention. This stupid little thing goes right inside the trigger well, and as you push it down into the holster, it pulls the trigger for you. If you're lucky, it'll just go off straight at the ground, but you know, things happen. Just reholstering just the fabric alone from a fleece, from a shirt like this, a polo, if it's untucked, even if it's tucked in and it's not super tight and there's a little bulge, which you guys can't see on camera, but there's a little bulge of fabric at the bottom, as you're pulling in, just that little much could go in there and start to press on the trigger. Bad things can happen. Alright, I thought that was the worst advice ever, to not pay attention to where it's going when you're reholstering. There, into the holster. As you can see, with this type of holster, the way it slightly angles inward. So if I'm not paying attention when I'm reholstering this, potentially I'm going to have a catastrophic accident. So every time I'm doing it, I'm slowly taking it and making sure it's good. I'm not just looking somewhere else and then shoving it in there. that was pretty disgusting when it came to pulling and drawing on that. I'm still getting used to this type of holster with the hood. My problem is I smash down and immediately try and pull up. Sometimes I don't have this down enough and I am pulling it up into the hood without letting it release. That just boils down to more training. Usually I have an ALS holster where I don't have this hood on there. All I do is depress the thumb and I'm able to just extract it straight out. But without the hood on, there's no retention on it. You need the hood to help retain it all in there. All right. Always look and guide that bad boy back in. All right, now we'll engage a couple of different targets. We have some over here and some over there. All right. Only got 2 left. And all the other mags have defense rounds, so I'm not going to expend all of those. But I'll do one over here and one over there, so I have a nice wide transition. All right, here we go. I don't want to say borderline paranoid about it, but I'm very cognizant of what I'm doing. If I'm wearing a fleece or something like that and it's unzipped, in order for me to reholster, I will take the fleece and I will crunch it up into a little ball underneath my arm so there is nothing here, and then I guide it back in, being aware of all my fabrics, everything around the trigger guard, ensuring that it goes in smoothly into the holster with no weird foreign objects that might get up inside there and accidentally discharge around into me or the ground that I'm standing on. The easiest way to avoid all of this is you zip your jacket up and then you put an exterior belt on the outside of the jacket. How novel is that? I always have them. You guys have seen them before. I've did an entire video on it. On this big monstrosity. I know it's kind of big, right? This is old school, right? And some people that have come here are like, Todd, that's too much belt for me. Yeah, it's big, it's padded, I get it. Well, they make other types of belts, like this one, right, by Subsecond. Now, you guys have seen it in a few other videos. You've seen me wearing it. So we're going to do full disclosure on this, all right? No money exchanged hand for the review process of this. Actually reached out to the company, Subsecond. I thought they were a local company up here in the Northeast in Connecticut. And then Jeff, the owner, sent me a message back saying, nope, move to Florida. And I was like, well, that's a smart man. Regardless, though, it's not like Jeff and I are hanging out, but he is former SF Army, and now he makes these really awesome belts. In fact, between that big other one that I have, that big poofy one, and this one by far is superior in every shape, every way possible, I should say. All right, so we're gonna go over every part of it. So the other belt, you just slip it on, and you go to town. All right, always have it with me. The problem with that is it's big and it's bulky, and trying to readjust the inner belt, things like that, such a pain in the butt. So with this, it's a 2-piece system for the belt. Your first piece is this rigid hook and loop. Mainly just on here is the hook, and this is all loop all the way around. And you can wear this through your regular belt loops, holding your pants up, or for an everyday belt, or you can put this on the outside of your jacket, kit, whatever. The inside is a very rigid nylon material. It holds its shape very well, which gives you great comfort while you're wearing it, and you're going to avoid when you're wearing it slouching down because of the weight of, say, your sidearm. it's going to retain it. It's going to hold your kit, your everything up. All right, so you got your inner belt. Then you have the outer belt right here. And this is all hook all the way around. And these are just temporary pouches that I was using. I'm in the process of getting other pouches that will be locked in with Tech Lock and better utilized for better suited for a belt such as this. For right now, the mag pouches that I had worked just fine. They weren't moving around. Once this is all together, the pouches are locked into place and they're not sliding back and forth. This model actually comes with the elastic molly on the outside, so you don't even need pouches like this. You could literally just shove magazines right through here to hold them, or Sharpies, or whatever you want. I personally feed them through the belt and then get them in position, and then I lock this belt around this belt and I'm good to go. So like I was saying up in the office, you can wear it with the inner belt or without the inner belt. So without the inner belt, you can just throw this right on top of everything else. It's not going to go anywhere. Boom. I've ran around, jumped up and down, done all kinds of crazy stuff. Had no problems with it. So that's how this would be if I take this off. Lock that on. Put that there. I use this one, which I can tighten this one up. Alright. I feel so exposed. Those there. Having that Velcro definitely locks it all together a lot better. Obviously you're going to want to take your time and get it all lined up a little bit better. So the nice thing though is I can unbuckle this and realign this side and realign that side so it's better, and say, oh yeah, I really should tighten it up a little bit. Alright, not a problem. Trying to hold it and have it flop around is, there you go. It's on there, it's nice and tight. The holster can pull out, shoot, no problem. Guide in, boom, like that. Alright, that is the Subsecond Belt. Again, I like it for when we're doing some training. I can put this on and I don't have all this sloshing around. It's nice and tight to me. Especially if when the weather gets colder. I mean, it's really hot right now and really humid. But as we're putting layers on with jackets, the holsters and mag carriers that we tend to just wear on our regular belts get buried below clothing. And I like to try and keep everything on top of the clothing. Ergo, wearing a belt like this or having one readily available when you do training, yes, if it's cold, wear the jacket, zip it up, and apply all this stuff. Now, you still have to train with a holster underneath your jacket, things like that, especially if you're going to do concealed carry, you want to get those reps in. But if you're doing a carbine course where you're shooting rifle, you're going to want a belt like this, so you're not having to sweep your jacket and all that other stuff. You can just have all your kit right here with extra mags, things like that on there, so on and so forth. All right, let's go back up to the office and finish this up because it is hot and I'm sweating down here. For the clasp, this right here is well worth it. So this is the Cobra Clasp system. All right, it's got the name right on there, Cobra. It's big and it's durable, and it can hold the weight of all the stuff that you're throwing on here. This is even better. All right, my everyday belt that I wear has a thinner version of this Cobra ring right here. It's fully adjustable. You can see right here. I can tighten this up for, moving around a lot. They are sized, so when you order them, you'll get a generic. You get an area where you put your size in on the website. Like this one says 34. Don't judge me, okay? So I can tighten it up. I've got a little leeway. It's not like it's set 34 and that's it. I can make it tighter or looser, especially around the holiday season. This may have to get loosened up a little bit. So right now all I'm doing is aligning the Velcro up. There you go. And you can see the inner belt on there. Everything on here is handmade by Jeff. Everything's backed, so it's all double stitched. Backs off. I don't want to say backs off, but as he's sewing, back stitches. That's it. Back stitches everything for reinforcements. You're not going to have little things fraying off. Outstanding quality, and I've had different belts over the years, from this old school and others that attempted like this, and the qualities for the price it's just not there. After a little while, they really stretch out. They're not super rigid. They start, especially when I'm carrying, say, a 226. Instead of being like this on my waist, it starts to do this, and then I'm walking around with it all lopsided, and I feel like I just can't tighten it enough. Versus this one, I had this on. I was running around, jumping off things, running and gunning. Nothing moved. It was fantastic. I have to give it to Subsecond. They built an amazing belt. It's fantastic. So if you're in the market for a belt, you can't go wrong with a Subsecond. I will link their website down below, their Instagram and all that good stuff. Most people that are watching this, I know you guys are all civilians, but these belts are used currently by SF guys, by different like SWAT teams, so on and so forth. Depending on what you're trying to do, he's got some of the clasps are just normal where they just click together. This one has the extra part right here, and if you don't know what this is for, it is for your retention tether for locking into a helicopter. That's whenever you see I'm wearing a belt and you see that extra little bungee cord that hangs down here, it hooks up into the back, so when you jump into the helo, you unlock it and you lock into the helicopter, so when the helicopter is banking and yanking and doing all kinds of good stuff, you don't just fall out. Alright? A lot of times when you watch movies, you don't see them doing that, and you always wonder, how do they stay in? Well, there's an actual tether that does that. Alright? In real life. This is replacing the other belt for my everyday carry. So when I'm walking around doing training, it's going to be this. The quality is amazing. More than pleased with it. So Jeff, good job. Subsecond, you guys are fantastic. So if you're looking to buy American and help out a small mom and pop shop, there you go. Subsecond. They are not this giant conglomerate cranking out a bunch of equipment. It is. Each one is handmade with love. You can't go wrong. For the price, if you're going to spend the money, buy once, cry once. Hands down. Go ahead, drop your comments below. I will read them and respond. Tell me what you think. And go ahead and give them a try. Take a look at the product. And you won't be disappointed. I guarantee it. Alright. As always, I will see you on the trail. Stay safe in the fray. Goodbye, my friends.